So welcome McDonald.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, everyone. Just a little acknowledgement to the First Nations people. You know, if Australia was a human, we would all have been here for about a day. So just a quick acknowledgement of that. Now, the story I'm going to tell you tonight is about how Bucketty's came to be. It was not as easy as maybe it seems right now. So let me wind you straight back to 2017. We were stuck in a rut, Lexi and myself. I was working in a business that I really had no love for. We were trying to start a family. After a lot of unsuccessful attempts, we conceived our first child, but we practiced this. I'm screwing it up. All right, so we're stuck in a rut, and we thought, okay, there needs to be a bit more to life. So what's something we love? We love community, we love nature, we love beer, we love bringing people together. And Bucketty is actually a place up in the Hunter Valley. We had this idea to do kind of like a winery experience, but without the white tablecloths and wankers. It was just like hardwood, corrugated iron, recycled timbers, live music, a lot of fun. Like all the good things that are associated with beer in our opinion. So we bought this block of land up in Bucketty, 30 acres, like proper Aussie bush, like trees you can't put your arms around, koalas, wallabies. Signed the contract, paid the $50,000 on some loose advice that we could finally get a loan, and got an email through saying, oh, sorry, it's actually rural zoning, we're not going to be able to lend you the money. So we had 4 or 5 weeks of just trying to scramble to find $500,000, which we managed to restructure some stuff in the business and get there, but there was a moment of like, what are we going to do here? So that was the first little hurdle in what was Bucketty's. And then after we signed that contract, we went to work getting consultants involved, putting plans together for this brewery that was going to be sensitive to the environment, and, like I say, use a lot of recycled materials, and invited all of the neighbours around. So the neighbours are 500 metres away, but it still is a bit of a community up there. So we went and saw them, invited them around, shouted them beers, barbecue. About 50 of them turned up. He showed them the beautiful plans. Everyone said, oh, this is going to be so great. It's going to be so great for the community. Because there's nothing up there. Outside our driveway, it's 20 minutes in either direction before there's a shop. Like there's nothing up there, so we thought this would be a nice thing for the community. Put the DA in after a lot of energy and expense. Put it in, got a call from the town planner and said, great news, nobody has objected to your DA. That's great. I said to Lexi, this is awesome. I expected somebody to say something. Another call 5 minutes later, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. He actually got 8 objections out of 8 submissions. 100% strike rate of people that didn't want the brewery. Later found out it was only 4 of the immediate neighbours. Another 4 were some community members that just didn't want any kind of development, in my opinion. 5 kilometres away, objecting. But anyway, they banded together and worked really, really hard to crush the Bucketty's dream. They looked into all the little details on why the brewery should be allowed, and they found kind of a technicality in the permissibility. So this is how crazy it was. We were able to grow all the stuff up there. We actually have a small hop farm. We're able to sell the beer. It's permitted to have an RSL, a function centre, a winery, and a cellar door. They're all allowed. So you can grow the stuff to make the beer, you can sell the beer, but you can't turn it into beer on site. So that's an industrial process, which is not allowed in a rural zoning. So we tried everything to get around this, saying, okay, we're going to grow everything on site, and it's going to be a true agricultural business. And anyway, council called me in and said, basically, there's a 0 chance you're going to be able to brew beer up here. It's not possible. We've got legal advice. Thanks. We know we said you probably could, but you actually definitely can't. So there was a massive blow. We had this big block of land. We'd been dreaming. We'd been planning. There's a lot of energy that goes into it, money and energy, but the betrayal, I guess, that was a big part of it. You invite people around, shaking your hand, and then all of a sudden you find out they're actually not your friends. So that was a real gut punch. It took us, Lexi and myself, a long time to get over. So after that, sort of the second stage of what was Bucketty. So we've still got that land up there. There's a residential tenant up there, and we've got plans to maybe put an RSL up there. Not really. That'll show them. Not really, no. So yeah, stage 2. Lexi and I moved to Curl and started to frequent the breweries around here, Seventh Day, Nomads, Dad and Dave's, that kind of stuff. And just like how great it was. It's kind of like that pub vibe that it used to be before poker machines, where you come, there's no screens anywhere, just come and have fun, connect with people, have a laugh, have a beer. And they were heaving, all these breweries around here were heaving, so we're like, well, maybe we could bring the whole Bucketty thing to Brookvale. So we started looking around, found this building, and signed a heads of agreement on it. So that was in January 2020. Put the DA in straight away because I knew that would take a really long time. Owner dragged his feet a little bit, so the heads of agreement isn't binding, it's the lease that you need to sign to really get locked away in the building. He dragged his feet until March 2020 when COVID hit. So we were left in a situation of like, well, sign this lease, the world might be ending next month and you're going to commit for 10 years, so we couldn't do it. But I said to the owner, look, we're going to keep going with the DA process because it takes a long time and maybe COVID will blow over or whatever. He said, that's great, I've got a tenant that's willing to take it for 5 months and you can maybe move in afterwards. I said, that's great. All right, well, lease it to the tenant short term. We'll keep doing the DA and hopefully COVID will, blow over a little bit. And I was also thinking in my mind slightly that, well, maybe I could play this to my advantage. Maybe I could get a cheaper deal and maybe I could, leverage my business experience to get a better deal. So, next start of the story is that Lexi gets her coffee from Barrel One, was walking past, and the short-term tenant has just moved in. He's got a jackhammering up the floor. There's a team of people knocking through walls, and Lexi's called me and says, I don't think these guys are here for 5 months. So I get on my bike, because there's no parking in Brookvale, so I get on my bike, get down here, talk to the guy in the jackhammer and say, what's going on? Like, you guys are short term, why are you demolishing pretty much the whole place? I said, oh no, we've decided to take it for 10 years. I'm like, oh, what? Quick calls to the agents, calls to the owner. Oh, we haven't signed, but yeah, they want to take it, and you don't know what you're doing. And I was like, fuck, I do know what I'm doing, I want to take it, I want to get a better deal. So we ended up getting in a bidding war in the middle of a pandemic and paying a substantial amount more in rent, losing all of our rent free, but we got the building. And then the next part of the story, another hurdle that we had to overcome was we got in, we got the keys, we started to rip into the fit out, but part of our DA condition was that we need to remove one of the driveways there. So there's 2 driveways at the front, one we don't really use. The council like to convert that to parking spots. So they said, well, you can occupy the building, we'll give you a DA, but you need to remove that driveway and turn it back into a curb. So, okay, well, expense, but whatever, we'll get in there. So I need the owner to sign off on this. So I call up the owner and I say, great news, we've got the DA, we're good for occupation, but I'm going to need to curb up one of those driveways and then you sign this piece of paper. And you're just like, mate, that driveway goes, you go. Hangs up on me and calling back. Yeah. But Graham, I can't, it's in my DA, I can't occupy it, I'm paying rent. What do I do? He's like, mate, it's not my problem. That driveway goes, you go. Like, aggressive. Oh, really? So, sure enough, I call council, basically tell them, look, I'm going to go broke because I can't occupy the building and this was a condition that we did discuss. And anyway, to their credit, council came to the party, removed the condition from the DA, and we were able to occupy. And there was this just big sprint for 3 months because we were burning money, and the rate of the velocity of money flowing out of the bank account astounded me because you have to get open. We're burning rent, we're paying wages, and you have to get open. And if something costs thousands of dollars and it's going to get you closer to opening, then sometimes you just got to do it. And there was every day, thousands, $5,000. Do you know how much brewery hoses cost? Lots. $10,000. So that was happening a lot. So there was a huge amount of pressure we were sprinting through, and a lot of this fit out, we didn't just slap it together. Like little things, like this table here, that's actually recycled timbers from a bridge that burned down in Bucketty that we managed to scavenge. That was going to go to the heap, and there's all chart on that. It's also around the menu board. A lot of these tables are actually milled timbers. The bar is milled timber from our property in Bucketty. So myself, Tony, went up and got a guy with a mill and milled bits of paper, bits of timber, and there are hundreds and hundreds of hours in that. It would have been so much easier to just get a finished bit of timber and slap it in and be done in a day, but it's got a bit of soul, I like to think, or definitely should do after so much effort. So, anyway, the reason I tell you that is because it was really hard to build this, and there was a moment when I was sitting at that table and we were waiting for our occupation certificate, so the certifier came through and tried to tick off stuff, and we were due to open at 5 o'clock that night because we had to get open. We needed to start getting some money coming through the tills. And I was sitting at that table, and it's a whole buzz of people, electricians, plumbers, brewers, everything just buzzing around trying to get this thing finished. And an email popped through and it said, "Here's your occupation certificate, you're good to go." And I remember going just like this sense of relief, and went and found Lexi, who was on her hands and knees and dustpan and broom trying to clean a corner. I said, "We got it, we're sweet." Kiss, embrace, all right, back to it, and sweet. And 2 hours later, we poured the first pints. I gotta say, it was the absolute most delicious beer there ever was. And yeah, that's the story of how Bucky's came to be. So thank you so much for all of you guys sharing with us. I know some of you might be your first time, some been here a lot, but you know, we do this because we love it, and we love welcoming so many people through. People that walk through those arches have a smile on their face. They're coming here to feel something, just like you guys did today, and that's why we do this. It is so much fun. It's really hard, but we love that about it. You know, nothing worth doing is easy. And yeah, that's our mantra here. So thank you.
Well, very kindly, I wandered in here last year when our venue wound up, and I just said to Nick, we come here, I was with Lisa, and he said, yeah, we'll give it a go for 3 months. And thanks to everyone that's been turning up, month after month, we've consistently had more than 100 people in here, which is, you know, a story room event isn't a story room event without people that turn up to listen to the stories. So can I ask you one question? What's been the most fulfilling part of this journey?
Sharing the experience. So there's not much fun in having a beer by yourself or listening to music by yourself. It's having lots of people in here smiling and just sort of letting go and just being part of that. Like we have, Lexi and I have a lot of moments where we'll be sharing a beer down here, watching a band and just watching everyone having such a great time, and that's like, it's so beautiful to feel that and see that. So, yeah.
Thank you again. Mr. Bucketty and Alexi, thank you. So that is our time. You now get to go buy a beer or a wine, and the wines go, a lot of them are from the Hunter Valley. We're going to take 20 minutes.